But where it comes to those two examples, the reason I bring them up is something that I started to hear in my head when I'm reading your book, and that's the family that surrounds all three of you. Sholo's mom, very strong in his life, keeping him grounded. Amber's mom, very same with you. I know it was both your mom and your dad had a lot, but your mom keeping you on track. And I loved the story about the car, because as a dad with two daughters, like, yeah, you can have your own car. Yeah, you got your own money, but take care of this thing first and then get it. But what is it about your family that really kept you? Because you don't hear a lot of stories about you, man, how, like, because as someone at your age, you could have heard really going down the wrong track, and you didn't, and so do you definitely say, this is my family upbringing, this is the reason why I'm able to have these morals that I do?
Yeah, no, listen, I say it, this is the one thing I share in all my talks about the book, is one of the key quotes is, the first miracle in your life is who you're born to.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow your karmic past life creates that for you, and you enter the game to start anew. So for me, I was blessed with two parents who were very young. They came from extremely humble beginnings in the Crenshaw district in LA, but they had an instinct to pour a lot of love into me and protect me. My father was a huge protector. I outlined a very key moment, and my mother was, for better or for worse, a helicopter mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, the point of bringing that up, of her being such a helicopter mom, is, as much as it was a pain in the butt for me, even at times, growing up, helicopter moms like mine, or perhaps Zolo's, they send a clear message to predators that someone is here, loves this kid,
right,
and is paying attention to what's happening to them. You can't just drop off your kid on a movie studio lot and expect them to just return home at the end of the day like it's a school and the bell rings at 3:00.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no. That's an adult working environment. I can only imagine how many people we may have even worked with as kids back in the 90s who may have had rap sheets. They were not, their backgrounds checks were shoddy.
Nickelodeon stuff, man.
Well, it's funny you bring that up, though.
Yeah.
That situation is not funny at
right.
all.
I know what you're saying.
But odd that you brought that up. But Quiet on Set, the Nickelodeon documentary, I did break down and watch it for the sake of writing this book. And I found that to be a very key moment when his mother and his father, the mother came and basically upended the father's place. And the father had odd feelings about this particular guy.
Yeah. But
in a co-parenting situation that just wasn't going well, the father was displaced. And the second he was alone out there, that's when the offender went to work.
Right.
So, I really salute the parents that figure out that there has to be some type of supervision on your sets. If your kid is working in show business, I don't care if it's Broadway, I don't care if it's TV, if it's movies, if it's, the music business. Oh my gosh, that gets even wilder though. So, but that was my mom. My mom was a helicopter mom, and she wasn't going nowhere.
Well, what also I thought was pretty telling when it came to both your parents was that, and I think relating to what we were just talking about here, is I think that the greed and the carrot can be dangled in front of a lot of the parents, and they see it and they see the money and they go, oh, okay, well, I just kind of turn an eye, my kid's making the money, and then oh, what am I buying for me? And your parents didn't do that, and you guys lived in the same place for quite a while and all that, and to me that's very telling, dude. And
I had the same cracker box bedroom. Matter of fact, I think it was, we started going on so many trips for work or for appearances. Hawaii, obviously I talked about staying at the Plaza Hotel in that particular room. Yep. And when we would come home, no joke, our house was starting to become smaller than the hotel rooms we were staying in.
Right.
And it was like, even that was starting to be like, Mom, how much longer are we going to stay here?
Sure. Yeah. But did you take that into some of your parenting? Because your kids definitely grew up a lot different than you did because of the success that you had. So when you're taking it into parenting with your daughter, do you feel that this is something that you took with you?
Oh, I take a lot of different things from my mom and my dad. It's amazing how when you have a child, how instinctively you actually lean on whatever your parents did to you.
Right.
And you got to be careful too, because you got to unlearn a lot of stuff that your parents did to you.
Sure.
That may not be appropriate anymore, or may not be applicable to your kid. I don't think a lot of people pay attention to, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, I don't think enough people pay close enough attention to their children's gifts and their children's proclivities and what they're naturally drawn to. So much as adults, we're just kind of conditioned to project everything that was us and our past onto our kid.
Right.
And I got lucky in that way, in that, I basically, if my dad wasn't allowed to, I would say this from the book, my dad's very athletic, and he never played sports. And he asked his mother, to sign a permission slip for him to play football. And she said she had to talk to God. Mm. And God never got back to her.
Right.
And so that was it. My father never played on a sports team. Because of that, my dad made it a point to sign me up for everything. And so I never felt pressured, and I always felt that I could play anything I wanted, thanks to my dad. So that's a positive, and where a negative happened to my father, and he turned into a positive in my life. And I think both he and my mom did a really cool job of that, and I try to emulate that as well.